Hello everyone, welcome back. Please comment, rate, subscribe, folks. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like, watch, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen, folks, there's a link tree down below. Has the links to all of my social media platforms. Please go down there. Follow me across all my social media platforms and talk to me because I'll talk back. Also down there as well as link to all of my YouTube pages. Please go down there, subscribe to all my YouTube pages, and turn on your notifications so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Now, with that said and done and put to the side, I've come to talk to you folks today about Robert Saleh calling Derek Carr elite. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay? Boy, oh boy. Listen here. Something else, all right? Saleh sat down with the media at a press conference recently, and he had some things to say, and we're going to talk about some interesting tidbits, especially what he said about Derek Carr. Now, when asked about Derek Carr and the meeting that Derek Carr had with the New York Jets, Saleh said that the meeting went great, okay? He called Derek Carr a tremendous young man. He also went on to talk about the attributes of Derek Carr and what he liked about him so much. He said that Derek Carr has an elite mental makeup, okay? He has tremendous arm strength and accuracy. He can put the ball anywhere that you want. He also compared Derek Carr to Matthew Stafford, okay? He compared him to Matthew Stafford, and he talked about how if you put the pieces around him and just allow him to play quarterback 10 to 15 times a game, that will be cool. He also said that he was underrated as a scrambler as well. Let me tell you something. I have been talking to multiple New York Jets fans about Derek Carr for the longest. And I know, look, I love Aaron Rodgers. I want to see him here too. But I am all about Derek Carr as well, and I think that he's the most realistic target for the Jets. I've been saying that for the longest, and I think that he's a guy that we probably are going to end up with, especially with all the things going on with Aaron Rodgers right now, not even talking about his future to anyone, right? And I've had a lot of Jets fans tell me, Joe, you're out of your mind. I don't want to have nothing to do with Derek Carr. There's some people that honestly think that Derek Carr is trash. I've talked with Jets fans that call him mid. Derek Carr has 4,000-yard seasons and 3 Pro Bowls. He would come in and statistically be one of the best quarterbacks in New York Jets franchise history the second he hits the door. The second he hits the door. Okay? I have no clue why there are Jets fans that don't want to have nothing to do with them. But let me tell you, they are out there. I do a radio show. They call in and talk about how they don't want to have nothing to do with it. I don't get it. I don't get it. We have franchise records here held by Ryan Fitzpatrick. That is not an indictment on Ryan Fitzpatrick being a great quarterback. That is an indictment on the New York Jets and its quarterback situation that we've had, right, for years. We've been struggling to find a guy. Ever since Chad Pennington, and even then with Chad Pennington, it wasn't long enough again because of the injury that he suffered. The names go on. Mark Sanchez, not here, a bust. Geno Smith, not here. Couldn't get it done here. Sam Darnold, not getting it done here. Bryce Petty, not getting it done here. Christian Hackenberg, not getting it done here. Up until this point, Zach Wilson, not getting it done here. How can you look at this guy who has been getting it done with the Raiders, regardless of what's been out there? Watch the tape, the throws, the accuracy, just look at the numbers, my goodness. Look at the numbers. If he came here, okay, and just had an average year statistically, he would set franchise records for the New York Jets. Period. I don't get it. Saleh himself says he's elite. Listen, Derek Carr, I welcome Derek Carr. If he's the guy that the Jets end up with, I'd be excited about it. I don't understand. The media also went on to talk with Saleh about free agency and about the quarterback situation. They said, hey, do you want to see this quarterback thing, be figured out before free agency starts, which we know is coming up soon? And Saleh responded, as a coach, you want it done yesterday. I want this signed and done yesterday, but he does appreciate everyone's process. And, he understands that everyone has a process that they have to go to, and they're just going to abide by them. And one of those guys is Aaron Rodgers. Listen, Aaron Rodgers has yet to tell anybody, officially where he stands or what he wants to do. Now, he did come out recently and says that he'll make his mind up in due time, basically, right? But it's like, come on, bro. You went into a darkness retreat. You came out the darkness retreat, and everybody else is still in the darkness. We don't know, right? Derek Carr, he's still shopping himself as well. He's in Indy. He's talking to multiple teams. He's met with the Jets again. He's met with the Saints again. According to rumors, or reports that he's meeting with the Carolina Panthers, and there's other teams as well that are vying for his services. So I'm hoping that the New York Jets don't get too hung up on Aaron Rodgers, all right? There has to be some type of timetable they have to put on that guy because at this point, and I love Aaron Rodgers and I want him, but I'm shaking in my boots. The last thing I want to do is miss out on Aaron Rodgers because he wants to retire or he wants to stay in Green Bay or he wants to go to some other football team. And then I miss out on Carr as well because he decides, hey, I'm going to go be a Carolina Panther or go, be with whatever other football team, go be a Saint or something. And then we're stuck with our pants down and our butts in the breeze. That's the last thing I want to see happen. So I'm hoping, the Jets, activate and get something done quickly with one of those guys. But Saleh says, hey, he's got to respect the process. They also talked about Hackett here being the new offensive coordinator and what the offense will look like under him. Now, Saleh said something that was really, really key to me. He went on to talk about philosophically a lot of the things that Mike LaFleur brought to the New York Jets, a lot of the things, the concept stuff, they're going to continue to run a lot of this stuff. They're going to keep that. But, there's going to be some carryover from Mike LaFleur onto what we're doing here. But they're going to do some things a bit different under Hackett. And that's huge. Because let me tell you something. The last thing that I wanted to see with a team that has as much pressure as we have this year, making the playoffs, right? That's everyone's goal for this upcoming year. The last thing you want to do is just come in and try to install some completely foreign concept to this offense and have them take a step backwards because they're trying to figure things out, right? Offenses take quite a bit to install, brand new offense. The last thing you want to do is confuse a bunch of people. So the fact that they're going to continue on with a lot of the concepts and philosophical things that Mike LaFleur was doing, to just mix it in with some of the things that Hackett was doing and allow these guys to go in there and continue to feel comfortable and familiar within the system is a beautiful thing to hear. He also talked about how Hackett, pretty much everywhere he's been, he's had a top 5 running game everywhere he's gone. And that's huge as well because we know the New York Jets' identity is smash mouth running the football. And when we are at our best offensively, that's what we're doing. That's why Breece Hall was such a star this season. So that's how we're going to win as well. So that was great to hear. He also talked about the future of Zach Wilson here. They were questioning, hey, if you guys sign a quarterback in his 30s, what happens with Zach Wilson? Because that quarterback's going to be here for quite a bit of time. And Saleh said, hey, that's a good question, but you can't look at it like that because the focus is to help him do the best that he can. If his best, happens and gets showcased as a New York Jet, awesome. But if it's not, that's awesome too. And that was crazy a little bit to me because that's the first time I've ever heard of Saleh talk about Zach Wilson not being on his football team, going somewhere else and possibly doing well. But we're coming to that realization because guess what? If they end up with Derek Carr, Zach Wilson's never going to be a starter here again. That's period, point blank period. Let's be serious. All right? And if Aaron Rodgers is as ornery as people say he is, I can see Aaron Rodgers pushing to be here the next 2, maybe 3 years. Maybe he pushes to a 4th year. That could push Zach Wilson out the door as well. So there was a tidbit there too. He also wanted to talk about Mike White. He said he wanted Mike White back, talked about how Mike White deserves to be on this roster. I've talked about Mike White ad nauseum. This is a guy I want to see back on the New York Jets roster. He deserves to stay here regardless of what we do at quarterback. He will be a phenomenal backup. And then if asked, knock on wood, if something happens and our starter goes down, he can step up and play in those spots. We've seen him take control of this offense and give us great, great production. He also talked about free agency as well with the media too. He said the New York Jets want to be judicious in their approach. He wants to keep a lot of the guys that we had, this past season on the roster. A lot of defensive guys, your Quan Alexanders, your Quincy Williams. He wants to bring those guys back and run it back again. So we'll see if Joe Douglas is able to attack that. But another big thing that he said as well, as he spoke to the media, was what he said about Dwayne Brown. He called Dwayne Brown a freaking rock star. He says he just finished surgery on that shoulder. As we all know, Dwayne Brown suffered a shoulder injury during the year, but played through it. And he talked about that too. He said 90% of the players in this league wouldn't have did it. He played through that shoulder issue when he didn't have to. His money was guaranteed, but he continued to strap it up and go out there. He said he loved his grind, he loved his grit, and he loved what he stands for. Let me tell you something. That sounds like Dwayne Brown is a guy that could possibly be returning next year with the New York Jets, and they're probably going to try to keep him. Now, we'll see what they do at this tackle position. As we know, the Jets have a top 15 pick. They could get Paris Johnson or any of these other guys, any of these other tackles that's out there in the draft that's coming out. But it looks like Dwayne Brown might be in their plans as well. Maybe keep on the roster as a backup. We'll see. So comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. How do you folks feel about this and what Robert Saleh said? You folks have a good one. Peace.